Hi kids. You can see that I'm next to a lake. We're going to talk about a boat today, and I hope you all got to make boats this weekend. We're going to talk about faith. Remember a couple of weeks ago we were talking about faith with bread, that the bread without yeast was like a life without faith, and the bread with yeast was like a life full of faith. So we'll talk about faith, and we'll also talk about a boat on a lake. Now, last week you heard Miss Madison tell the story of how Jesus fed thousands of people with a few loaves of bread and a couple fish. So this is a continuation of that story. After Jesus fed the people and they all went back home, Jesus told his friends, the disciples, to get in a boat and head back home, and he would catch up with them. So he went off by himself to pray, and the disciples, his friends, got in the boat and started paddling for home, started in their sailboat actually. So things got very dark, and the disciples were getting worried about Jesus. And then all of a sudden a terrible thing happened. A storm came up. And you can imagine being in the middle of a lake in a boat in a storm. They were terrified. And pretty soon they looked out in the water, and what should they see but Jesus walking on the water towards the boat. They just thought they were seeing things. So Peter, Jesus's friend, called to him and said, "Jesus, if that's you, tell me to come to you." And Jesus said, "Yes, come." And because Peter had such a strong faith, he stepped right out of the boat and was able to walk on the water towards Jesus. But then he got distracted by the storm, and he looked at the waves and he looked at the wind, and he took his eyes off Jesus just for a moment. And guess what happened to him? He sank into the water. But Jesus reached his hand down and pulled him back up. And the two of them got into the boat, and the friends who watched this were so amazed. And they said to Jesus, "Truly, you are the Son of God." That really strengthened their faith. So what does this story say to us? Well, sometimes we're like Peter, and sometimes we're like his friends in the boat. And we keep our eyes on Jesus, and we have a real strong faith, but sometimes we get distracted by our own problems or difficult situations, and we take our eyes off Jesus for a moment, and we might feel like we're sinking. And Jesus is always there with a helping hand to pull us back up. So let's remember and pray that whenever we are feeling in a sinking situation, that we'll always remember to ask Jesus to give us a helping hand and bring us back up. Have a great week. Bye.